Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another daily planning routine vlog video. It's 6:50 in the morning and I've just prepared my daughter's breakfast. It's basically a yogurt drink, an Oreo, salted egg biscuit, and hyongpya, which means fragrant pastry biscuit. I've not paid much attention to my Kiki orchid, but it looks like with spring coming, it has grown 3 baby roots at the base. For the longest time, there was barely anything, probably because it's dormant, but at least it's still alive. Every morning, I would bring down my planner along with maybe a storybook, and I'd sit in front of the TV watching some random YouTube video while waiting for my daughter to come down and eat her breakfast. And there she is, eating while watching her iPad. She usually sits there so that it's easier for me to clean up later. At around 7:40 a.m. latest, I leave the house and I drop her off at school. Now that I'm back home, it's time for me to have my breakfast. I always have to have coffee for breakfast and I make enough for my husband and I. For this morning, I decided to make myself some omelette for a change. It's been a while. When everything is ready, I sit in front of the TV and watch a show while enjoying my breakfast. I'm also taking some cold medicine after that. That's a cup of water beside the coffee. After I'm done with breakfast, I start planning in my Hobonichi cousin. I usually start from the front so that I can fill in the necessary stuff as I flip along. At the calendar index page where I have my habit trackers, I start off by marking the dream column. There isn't much after that until much later in the day, so I flip on to the monthly page. Here is where I track and plan my social media stuff. For this morning, I'm just going to mark the F column, which stands for filming, and then I'm going to mark today's Instagram posting. Next, I'm moving on to the weekly pages. I haven't transferred the paper to the new week yet, so I will do that now. But first, I will mark yesterday's flossing on my tracker. The ink is not dry yet, so I will leave the paper here for a bit. With that done, I will go to this week's page and start listing some tasks I need to do this week. I'm referring to the previous week for any tasks that I could still do this week or have yet to start. I don't have a lot of tasks I can think of, so I'll leave the rest of the space when something comes up. After marking my water tracker, I move the paper over to the page so they can help blot out any wet ink. And now we've finally reached the daily pages. I drew a girl wearing a cute dog-eared jacket following a photo. I'll tell you in a bit as to why I drew it. For now, I'm going to list out all my tasks for the day. Some of the things I listed were my usual daily routine stuff, some house chores, and some personal tasks. With that done, I start journaling. Here's why I drew the dog-eared jacket for today's page. Yesterday, while my husband took my daughter to her chess class, I decided to do some laundry, which included washing her new jacket. It's this very same jacket you see here. The ears are detachable and one was missing. I had last seen it at the St. Patrick's Day festival the night before as we were walking back to the car. My husband said it wasn't in his car, so I went back to the festival to try to retrace our steps and find it. I couldn't find it. When I arrived home, I decided to check his car and wouldn't you know it, it was there on the car booster seat. At least it's not missing. Next, I wrote about my health, learning more free online courses, a city essay and drawing competition for my daughter if she wants to join, and how my daughter can floss on her own now. That's the end of my journaling. I can now take photos of my daily spread and post it up on Instagram and share them in group pages. After that, I take a moment to check my plant. I can't tell if it's too much sun. Once my husband has finally woken up to start working, I decided to make the bed. After that, I went to the balcony to put up the chimes. I had taken them down a few days ago because of strong winds. And since I'm down here, I might as well put away some dishes into the dishwasher. With those tasks out of the way and I have the room to start working, it's time for more planning session. I start off from the beginning again because upstairs I have my colorful ink pens for some of the stuff I couldn't mark downstairs. At the habit tracker, I take a brown color pen to mark my reading column because I didn't read much yesterday. I also decided to mark cardio workout column because it felt like a workout earlier. I'm flipping over the pages, there's nothing for the monthly page, so I continue on. Coming to the weekly pages, I mark my water tracker again because I had drank some water just now. I did my Wordle, so I'm logging in the word and my score. I also did my Mandarin Duolingo lessons earlier, so I'm writing some notes on words that I want to remember. These are new words being taught, and although I don't think I can remember the characters, I'm going to just write it anyway. For Mandarin, the characters or Chinese words are so hard to remember because there's just so many lines. If it was spelled out phonetically, I have no problem understanding it, but it's the writing part that I have difficulty. Moving on, I'm flipping past the goals pages and straight on to the daily pages. The first thing I'm checking off is my morning routine. It usually consists of my meal log, Wordle puzzle, my Duolingo lessons, face muscle exercise, 5-year journal entry, and the planning session. The next thing I'm checking off is putting away the folded clothes in the laundry basket. I don't know why I don't do them the same day as I folded them, but they do get taken care of the next day at least. Next, I checked off watering plants because I did do that after I hung the chimes at the balcony. After that, I had also taken the clippers and clipped or removed all the dry and fallen leaves from the indoor plants. After making the bed, I had settled down to do some work which involved job searching. That's all I'm checking off for now. Now, I'm going to continue on to the back pages. There's nothing I want to update in the first few pages, so I'm just gonna flip through them. Here on the My 100 page, I'm going to check off Damsel because I had watched it the other day. It was not bad. It's not something I would watch again though. I'd rather watch her in Stranger Things. Continuing on, I'm going to mark my sleep pattern on the 365 days check-off sheet. It's still the same 6 hours purple ink. It seems like on average, that's the amount I can sleep, including the interruptions. That's all the planning session I want to do for now. I'm gonna take a short break and maybe do a few tasks after I've rested. Sometime later, I've taken my lunch while watching a Korean drama. After that, I did a little bit more simple job searching while watching the show. I took a short break to go out and check the mailbox. It was a short walk and was over too soon, but I did stop to admire the sight of new growth on trees and plants. After that short break, I did some more tasks and now I'm back in my planner to check them off. First, flipping over to the weekly pages, I'm marking my water intake since I've consumed more water as the day went by. And then over to the daily pages, I'm marking off filming video as that is what I'm doing right now. I also marked shopping for present ideas. I didn't look for anything in particular, just scrolling to get some ideas. I marked envelope off because I was shopping for that as well. They are envelopes to hold the birthday party invitations. I also spent some time to update my Notion page. I use it to keep track of shows I'm watching as well as a few other things. That's all I'm gonna check off. Now I'll begin to prep the daily page for tomorrow. I have this big house sticker from the Happy Planet Halloween sticker book that I've been trying to use. For what I plan to draw, this sticker would be perfect for it. I'm placing it down first because my main priority is to be able to use the sticker. I'll adjust my drawing accordingly. I will be drawing Lock and Key. It's one of the TV show poster where there's a key at the back of the boy's neck. I never heard of Lock and Key, the comic books, before this TV show appeared on Netflix. At the time, I was looking for some fun horror show to watch and stumbled across it by accident. It was fascinating to me how some keyhole would open magically for the key to be inserted, how it came about, and how each key that was found had a different usage. One thing's for sure, if my family ever owned such a house, I would not keep it. I'm sorry, as much as I love watching these kind of shows, living it is another matter entirely. I would not step one foot into this house. It's bound to be bad news for sure. I've never rewatched this TV show yet. I think one of these days I'll do just that. I do want to read the comic books just to see how different it is. Looking them up, there are about 37 issues and it's finished apparently. Drawing this boy's head seemed simple enough. As for the key, I want to make sure I can draw out the details as clearly as possible. Now I'm just finishing up on the shirt and darkening the lines a little bit more. I also add a few lines for the hair but not too much. The head, although just half of it, it's already taking up some writing space. I could write in it, but it would just look odd. I'm now using my pen to trace out the lines. The ink in my Pilot G2 pen has finished, so I'm using this Pioneer 0.5 gel pen now. It feels the same and so far doesn't affect my drawings. It is a little harder though to thicken the lines, but I can manage. When it came to drawing this ski, I had to look really hard at the details. After a while, I just went with what I could see and then fill in the rest with my own detailing. With a few more finishing touches, I'm ready to color the drawing. I used my daughter's Crayola color pencils to color the boy. Here, I'm trying to find the right color for the skin. Usually, I go with this color over here, starting with the lightest tone. After that, I take the darker tone to color in the shadows so that it doesn't look flat with one color. The darker tone with the shadows creates the different contours to the boy's face. I don't know which is the right location for these shadows, so I follow the photo as closely as possible until the desired effect comes out. When I see that a darker tone wasn't enough, I take an even darker tone to emphasize the shadows. Satisfied with it, I now move on to the hair. I use a dark brown color to color the dark parts first, and then fill it in with a gentler shade. By differentiating the strength when I'm coloring, I can create two different tones from the same color pencil. I then use a lighter color to fill in the white gaps to sort of create the different color strands to the hair. And now for the shirt, I'm just using a simple blue color to color it in. I'm not being too careful about it because the shirt isn't important to me or the main focus. The main focus is the key. Seeing as to how there's so much black ink in the detailing, I can't use my color pencil to color it because it always gets mixed in with the black and ends up dirty looking. So I grabbed my metallic gold ink pen to color instead. Any lines that were accidentally colored over by the gold, I will then draw over again with my black pen. With the coloring done, I'm now thickening the outer lines of my drawing so that it pops out more. To prevent any accidental smudges, I turn the planner in order to reach better without resting my hand on any still drying ink. After thickening the lines, I use my pencil to add a line of shadow around. It helps to make the pop-out image softer looking, if you know what I mean. With that done, I can now see what space I have to work with the stickers. I try my best to use as much stickers as possible. It helps to bring in more color to the page besides making the page look prettier. Here, I'm just trying to fit some cut up pieces to make it work. It looks a little odd, but I don't mind. After placing a few more pieces down, I think I'm done. As a final touch, I'm just going to draw a plain black line to divide the section for my to-do list and the journaling section. So this is my daily spread for tomorrow. After that drawing session, I take a break to check my daughter's room. My daughter got this doll and fan from the St. Patrick's Day festival. I also decided to have some apples with peanut butter while watching a show on my computer. Sometime later, I'm back in my planner to check some tasks off. I start from the beginning again as it's late afternoon already and I can start marking more of my habit tracker. Next, I'm flipping over to the monthly page to mark the E column for edit as I was also editing this very video at the same time as I'm filming it. I find that doing this saves me time and won't seem as overwhelming if I do it gradually. At the weekly page, I'm just going to update the water tracker. And then coming to the daily page, I'm marking learning off as I had watched some videos from this course I'm following on YouTube. I find that YouTube is a great source of free educational videos, but the downside is displaying this on LinkedIn may not seem as accreditable. I also watched some motivational videos to lift me up during this difficult journey of job searching. I'm done with the list. With one last glance at tomorrow's spread, I'm done with this short planning session. For dinner, my husband made for us some tofu noodle soup. It was not bad, just a little bland because he added too much water. I felt a little too stuffed from dinner, so I decided to take a walk around the neighborhood to lessen the bloat. Along the way, I stopped to admire the plants, this origami sculpture that's outside the recreational center, and some flowers. Now that spring is here, more and more flowers are starting to bloom. It's starting to warm a little too. After that short walk and taking my shower, I'm back in my planner to start the end day planning routine. I start from the beginning and flipping over to the part where I need to mark something off, like the water tracker. I still don't think I'm drinking enough. At the daily page, I check off the evening routine as I've started doing some of the tasks already, like the Duolingo lesson. I also check off exercise body since I did take that walk just now. And that's the end of my planning routine. There are some tasks I might do like reading, but I might not do it since I'm more interested in watching the drama show. Later for supper, I have a bit of the biscuits I had given my daughter this morning before calling it a night. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, do give me a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more of my videos, do subscribe to my channel. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!